Hey everyone. When everybody thinks of Formula One, I know that they kind of get an idea of these cars that go over 200 miles an hour around a lot of these big racetracks such as Spa-Francorchamps, um, other places such as like Hungaroring, which is in Hungary. Then Vegas GP, one of the most famous over here in the U.S., and COTA, Circuit of the Americas, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, a lot of people kind of get the idea that it's just them going kind of around 200 miles an hour, around the track over and over again. But there's so much more to it than that, and every race is sort of a combo of this very, very advanced technology that exists, and a lot of strategy and a lot of teamwork that's involved behind the scenes that a lot of people kind of don't kind of pay attention to. So what I wanted to kind of dive into is what goes on beyond the racetrack and what we kind of see on TV whenever we watch a Grand Prix. So first, what I'll kind of dive into is I'll touch on the technology that's within the cars themselves. Then I'll discuss things that kind of go into the races, such as the race strategies that are kind of discussed before and after races to kind of get information and discuss a race strategy that they might use in a Grand Prix and or develop during something such as practice, qualifying, etc., etc., etc. And I'll also explain how it really is a team sport. Despite it kind of having a driver's championship, there is still the constructors championship, which is a team-based sort of championship. So let's start with the technology. So Formula One cars are among some of the most advanced pieces of machinery in racing in the entire world. There's no debate. It is simply the facts. So every part of the car is designed strictly to kind of improve performance that is put on the racetrack. So one of the most important features that is critical to Formula One as a whole is aerodynamics. And according to the FIA, which is the governing body of motorsports, Formula One newest generation of race cars use active aerodynamic systems that can change depending on whether or not the car is driving through a corner or going down a straight. And this can allow the car to have more grip essentially by creating downforce and reducing drag on straights. So another important feature is the hybrid systems that are used within the cars, aka the hybrid power unit. And according to the FIA, modern F1 cars use a 1.6 turbocharged V6 engine, and that delivers about 1,000 horsepower and has a 50-50 hybrid and combustion engine split. Now, with that in mind, they do have a new system that was introduced at the start of this year for the new regulations that are, since they're 50% battery, they do have to be wary of the energy that they waste using the battery, and they have to recover a lot of the energy that they lose during braking and going down a straight. So what they do is they charge this battery throughout their turns or down a straight, and it's stored and it's used kind of as a boost almost to help improve their acceleration. And the tires are also a very, very important asset to the races that a lot of people kind of don't really pay attention to, even though they really should, because it's very, very important. So, about the tires, they use different compounds such as hard tires, medium tires, intermediates, wets, and soft tires, all with different purposes. So, these all carry their own different grips of grip and endurance. Like hard grip is going to last you the longest, and the soft is going to give you the most amount of grip, but it's going to last the shortest, etc., etc., etc. And so it's up to the drivers to balance the speed and manage their tire wear throughout the use and change their tires accordingly depending on the team strategy. So tech alone is not going to win you the race, but it is going to play a big part. But your race strategy is almost, if not just as important. And one of the biggest strategic decisions in a race is determining when to pit during a Grand Prix. And according to Formula One's official glossary website, an undercut can happen when a driver pits before the computer can take advantage of fresh tires and gain a position. And teams who also had to react to changing conditions, such as things like a safety car, virtual safety car, rain and or traffic, or other incidents such as a yellow flag, red flag from an accident on the track, can sort of benefit by making changes to the team strategy and playing out different scenarios on what happens in the race. So a lot of the pit stops are very important to the strategy, and according to the Formula One official website, a complete tire change can take just over 2 seconds at the very, very most, since it's simply just a tire change and or a part change if something was to break. And every mechanic has a very specific job with a team of about 19 people, and it can cost or gain you an entire position or a couple of positions depending on how fast they pit. And it also depends critically on teamwork. And although one person is driving the car, others have to sort of contribute to the race behind the scenes. And engineers are very, very important, and what they do is they communicate with the driver on how they need to sort of manage the race, how to manage their tires, how to take advantage of positions, and the distance to the finish line, and how many laps left, etc., etc. And so what they do on top of this is they also have mechanics that prepare the car before and during and after the race for the pit stops, and they have a lot of other designers that sort of help develop weak spots that can be worked on, and other upgrades during the race. And so to kind of cut this short, since it is very, very lengthy, it's much more than just going down a straight in a racetrack like how most people do in the streets, like in Fast and Furious and stuff. There is a lot that goes on in the races that people do not pay a lot of attention to. And so I really think that it is critical for people to kind of draw notice and appreciate the amount of complexity and hard work that goes into these cars and the strategies. Thank you.